Hello, guys. Hello, hello.
It was a serious suggestion.
Do we have a...
Because here's the camera, right? So it's more on the website. You should put the camera up in the... You get me?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, too much.
Good luck.
Good stuff. I'll start the stream now?
Yep.
I'll tell you if it's fine. Yeah. Oh, perfect.
But it's in 10 minutes. It's now.
But I'm going to scroll back.
Ah, okay.
But it's 10 minutes.
Okay, turn it off, turn it off.
Are you not tired? How many hours of sleep have you had? Is the video live? The oh, today.
Oh, stay tuned.
1 p.m. Chest nerd. You can't see anything. Of course, you can't see chat. If not, it would be a bit, I don't know, a bit boring.
Love to see lovely faces.
But they are there. I can sense them.
They're inside.
Yeah, it's how did you sleep 6 hours? When did you go to sleep?
Okay, 6, 7, 8.
I slept 11. Maybe I slept
11.
Yeah, I'm gonna say my
Wait, something's gone? Hey, they didn't say hi and bye.
It's 6 a.m. That's why I feel down. I messaged her when they were eating. She's 6 a.m.
She's gone. Like, that's embarrassing. Well, goodbye, Alex. Have a safe flight.
She already
Well, have a safe arrival.
it's okay.
You don't see anything. You don't see chat, right?
I used to chat.
Yeah. If not, I would have a bit some cheating.
Maybe it's not shining.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I have 0 viewers. That's
Well, there's more around that.
Water plant. That guy.
Puedes tomar asiento. Buenos días, vamos a comenzar en 2 minutos. El orden está citado. Bueno, muy buenos días a todos. Vamos a jugar la última ronda. Inmediatamente después de acabar esta ronda, sacaremos.
They join sometimes.
Yes.
Hello, guys. Hello, hello.
Cancel the content.
It was a serious suggestion.
Do we have a...
One, I think
Because here's the camera, right? So it's like more on the website. You should put the camera up in the. You get me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, too much.
good luck.
Good stuff. I'll start the stream now. Yep. I'll tell you if it's fine. Oh, perfect.
Because it's a small delay.
But it's in 10 minutes.
It's not. But I'm going to scroll back.
Okay.
But it's 10 minutes.
My big goal is to hear this walk every day.
Eli, that's the difference. There were videos made of the party, right? And you can hear me laugh every time. I'm like, you're too nice.
Do Maia, yeah. Do Maia. You push the here and it's laughter.
Which one button?
Zach, are you ready? I'm like,
Okay, turn it off, turn it off.
are you not ready? How many hours of sleep have you had? Is the video live? Which is oh, today.
Oh, stay tuned.
1 p.m. Chess nerd. you can't see anything. Of course, you can't see chat from Zoom. If not, it would be a bit, I don't know, a bit boring.
Love to see love faces.
But they're there. I can sense them. Yeah. How did this live 6 hours? When did we go to sleep?
Okay, 6, 7, 8,
I wanted 11. Maybe I slept.
11.
Yeah, say bye to
Wait, is that Scott? Hey, they didn't say hi and bye.
It's 6 a.m. That's why I come down. I messaged her when she were in meeting.
She's gone. Like, that's embarrassing. Well, goodbye, Alex, and a safe flight.
She already
Well, I'm a safe arrival. It's okay. You don't see anything. You don't see chat, right? Yeah. If not, I would have a bit some cheating.
Maybe it's no time.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I have 0 viewers. That's
Well, there's more around that.
Or like that guy.
Pueden tomar asiento. Buenos días, vamos a comenzar en 2 minutos. El orden está 2 minutos. Sit down, please. Bueno, muy buenos días a todos. Vamos a jugar la última ronda. Inmediatamente después de acabar esta ronda, sacaremos clasificaciones y haremos la entrega de premios aquí mismo. Es imprescindible estar en la entrega de premios para recibir el mismo, ¿de acuerdo? Recuerden que está prohibido totalmente tener dispositivos electrónicos en la sala. Pueden dejarlos abajo en recepción o tenerlos apagados y guardarlos. Todos los players, o sea, todos los jugadores en esta sala deben de usar este servicio, o si necesitan salir a cualquier otro deben decírmelo a mí. Y bueno, y por último, simplemente agradecerles a todos ustedes su asistencia y su colaboración durante todo el torneo. Good morning. Today we will play the last round. At the end of the round we will make the presentation and immediately we will make the award ceremony. It is necessary to be in the award ceremony to receive the prize. Remember that is especially for providing to her electronic device in the game. You can leave them at the reception desk. All playing mistakes will use the restroom behind these stairs. If this one is full, you can also use the one in the third room. But if you need to leave, the room must communicate it to the arbiter. In the end, thank you very much to all of you for your assistance and collaboration, and we hope you enjoy the tournament. Good day, everybody. Mucha suerte a todos. Pueden comenzar la última ronda. Start the clock.
Okay. Hello, chat. Good morning. Hope you can hear me well. Hope I don't have any issues this time. And by the way, hello to YouTube chat as well. I opened YouTube this time so I can see you guys and respond to your questions if you need any help. Yeah. So welcome to this stream of round 9 of Maia Chess Open. Anna is playing with white pieces against Samuel Toniolo from Italy. And, well, both players are away from the board currently. Yeah, as you can see, this is, this is kind of a statement. This is like, I'm all dressed up for the prize ceremony. I'm gonna get a prize, gonna win this game. And I think if she wins, she has very good chances to get the top women's prize, as well as crossing 2200 in live rating again. Yeah, I think right now she's a little bit below that mark, but if she wins this game, she will get it again. So we have a Philidor defense. Usually people who play e4 d6, they play two kinds of systems. One is the older kind of system, the Pirc or Pirch, I think it's the correct pronunciation, where usually black plays g6, bishop g7, kind of a dragon-like setup. That this is considered to be not so good because there are some lines with white can long castle and try to attack on the king side. So most recently, most players who play d6 go for this Philidor setup with e5, which is considered to be a very solid opening. It's actually a very flexible opening as well. Like black pretty much, set up all of his pieces and then decides what to do. So yeah, so far pretty standard play from both sides. I'm a bit surprised that Anna-Maja didn't castle yet. She preferred to play h3 first. Maybe that is, leaving some options open for the future. Maybe she wants to play some kind of kingside attack, which she really likes, and castle long. I'm not sure if that's an option, but maybe that's why she didn't castle immediately. Like usually on move 6, white castles. But everything else is a common idea for black to try to expand on the queen side with b5, and then white usually counters that with a4. And black chose to relieve the central tension by taking on d4, which is also a very common idea. And the reason is that white, at some point, there is also the slow plan for black. When I played this as black, I always went for this, kind of slow plan, b6, bishop b7, eventually a6, and eventually you try to, queen c7, try to connect everything, and eventually try to expand on the queen side slowly. The problem with this plan is that white usually gets an advantage after pushing the pawn from d4 to d5, and that is usually quite hard to meet for black, because white takes on c6, the pawn is forced to take back, and then the d6 pawn becomes kind of weak. So that is why a lot of black players choose to play this way with e takes d4, knight takes d4, and now black has two nice squares for the knight on d7. He can put it either on c5 or on e5. Most likely c5 is the better option here, because you don't want to run into f4 ideas. And Anna has also played the h3 move to guard the g4 square, so if a knight lands on e5 and then Anna plays f4, then there won't be any knight g4 ideas. But yeah, this is so far like pretty standard. Usually white is slightly better in this type of positions, but it's this opening is very solid. It's very tough not to crack, and yeah, usually it's played by players who think that they are, better in the end game rather than the middle game. So usually the idea is, try to keep some pieces, try to, survive, and then outplay your opponent in the end game. And that is also the reason why black doesn't really mind if I saw some people in the chat said earlier that, after e5, white can take on e5, trade the queens and deprive black of the right to castle. But black doesn't really mind that, because that endgame is not really better for white. It's an equal endgame. And, black claims that, he's a better endgame player than the opponent. Actually, I have won a few games from the black side of this endgame. I think I've had like 4 out of 4. Although all of them are against low-rated players. So yeah, but this is a very useful trick against younger players. Like, go into this endgame and they think that they are better, but they are not really. And black has some nice plans in this endgame. So what Anna did here is, I think smarter. Like, not going for this, but instead just trying to kind of make something happen in the middle game. The reason why it is slightly better is because, again, this pawn on e4 is basically better than the pawn on d6. But yeah, it's really nothing. Like, white has to come up with some plans, black has to come up with some plans. It's still a very, open to anything, this game. And that is why this opening is quite interesting, because there's also not much theory. It's just whoever has the better plans usually prevails. So yeah, it looks like the opponent is thinking. I like the move knight c5 here for the opponent. Attacking the pawn on e4. Also, perhaps you're willing to play some move like knight e6. Try and get rid of the strong knight on d4. Although after knight e6 there might be knight f5, so maybe not. But the knight usually goes to c5. Like, usually the reason black takes on b4 is to put this horsey on c5 or e5. So yeah, another consideration could be the move d5. Try to open up the position and claim that white hasn't castled. So maybe we can try and take advantage of that by using some rook e8 tempo move or something. But yeah. Hello, Herbert. Welcome. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really have much to do, so I was like, I was gonna watch the stream anyway, and I saw no one on the Discord call, so I was like, sure. I think Vlad said that he's tired of yapping, so he's not gonna join us, I think. But yeah, I guess you're stuck with me. Hopefully, I don't bring bad luck, because I was here yesterday and Anna made kind of a mistake in the opening and didn't really get in the game too much. But it looks like, yeah, I mean, it's not really possible to make a theoretical mistake here. Like, well, we're pretty much out of theory anyway. So it's just about, having better ideas here than your opponents. And I think that's good for Anna. I do believe that she's the better player in this game. So getting a position where it's about just understanding rather than memorization is good for her, I think. And I wonder what plans could you come up, because usually I don't like I have some experience with this line as black, but usually I don't take on d4 early and allow this, because it looks kind of scary. Like, this knight could get onto f5 at some point and be annoying, and that is I don't like dealing with knights on f5. And if black were to take this knight with a bishop, then of course white would have the bishop pair, and that would also be annoying to deal with. But of course, yeah, I mean, black is quite solid here, so. So two games have been played from this position in the database. One of them opted for c5 for knight c5, and one of them opted for d5. Pretty old games though. One is from 1998, and the other is from 2007. Knight c5 has been played, and yeah. So I guess Anna was expecting that move because it's very logical, as I said. And now the question is what to do with the pawn on e4 that is attacked. But it looks like, it looks like a giant F. Okay. We're back? No. Oh, we're back? Okay, my stream is not. Let me refresh. Okay, now I can't avoid the memes. That's the thing. So I suppose you can. Yeah, I think Anna has this thing where it restarts automatically if it crosses. For some reason in Reykjavik that didn't work. Yeah, but I guess now it worked, so I guess everything is fine. Truly. Let me get all set up again. Yeah, it's still behind. So, yeah, I guess the thing is, I guess Anna has her laptop by there, so yeah, this works better. It's more stable, and rather than having just the phone. Okay, what are these weird comments today? Come on, guys, you are better than that. Okay, so let's go back to the chess. Knight c5. What did looks like queen to f3, yeah. So queen to f3. That's a good one. And back in the master game is queen to b6. Which kind of makes sense because a useful question that that you can ask on a chess is, you know, what weaknesses did my opponent's last move leave? And usually that has to do with, you know, the square that the opponent piece left. What was the usefulness of the piece in that square? So if you think by that logic, you realize the queen was protecting the knight on d4. So this knight is now unprotected. So the move queen to b6 makes sense because it tries to indirectly attack this knight. And also, it kind of pins down this bishop on c1 and tells it, you know, you can't really develop to anywhere because then b2 is hanging. So queen to b6 is kind of an annoying move here to deal with. If black is like more passive and goes queen c7 and allows white to castle, play maybe rook to e1, and try slowly to start an attack on the king side with the f pawn, maybe f4, f5 could be a future plan for white. Then white would be in a better position. So basically, black has to be active. So this queen b6 move, I like for him. I'm not sure if he will find it. Maybe he can go for the more traditional kind of idea of knight to e6. That is also an idea. Knight to pieces. The reasoning here is that white has more space. So as black, you should try and trade a couple of pieces so that your remaining pieces can breathe in the little space that you have. And the opposite thinking also applies. Like white will try to avoid piece trades for now, at least, because she has more space in the center, and she also needs more pieces to remain on the board. She wants to attack a black king, which I guess is Anna's ultimate goal in this position. So yeah, so far I would say this is around equal. The evil bar also agrees. So yeah, I do, well, optically I do prefer white a little bit because, as I said, like Anna has more space than her opponent. She probably also has an easier plan, you know, just attack the king eventually. However, if black plays some active moves, he should be able to equalize the position here. Hello, Stockfish, welcome. And Hamster Hunt as well. And hello to everyone else I didn't say hi to. Like Matthew, Flyfuls, Norby, and yeah, Jen Pixels here. Hope you're enjoying your morning or evening or whatever time it is. Watching the final game of Maia Open. Basically, the final game for Anna-Maja before representing the Netherlands in the Chess Olympiad in Hungary, which will kick off in 10, I believe. 10 days from now. Right. Does it start on the 10th? I think I'm remembering correctly. So yeah, it will be kind of the final preparation game before the Olympiad. Stream ended. We're here now. I guess the stream died before, but now it is back. Yeah. Hello, Johnny. Well, it must be nice to be part of a team after playing as an individual so much. Yeah, it is. It's a different feeling. Team games. Not sure if everyone likes them, but I guess when you're representing your country, you know, you have an extra kind of that extra pressure. Yeah, it's nice, I guess. I think Anna is excited about the Olympiad as well because she hasn't really been able to take part in the Olympiads. I think the last time she went there was in 2016, I believe. And yeah, you know, you have the support of national team coaches. You know, they might prepare you for a game better. So yeah, it's a good feeling. I think. Like, I think every player has a has the Chess Olympiad high in their priority list. So. She doesn't have much time to prepare for the Olympiad. I mean, you don't really know who you're going to face, so you know what prep can you really do? You can't really prepare openings. I think playing this tournament will be a good preparation for her because she's faced players of all levels from 1800 up to GM. So as probably she's gonna face in the Olympiad as well. So that is, I think, good preparation. So yeah. Usually, you know, the first round, the favorite teams play against the kind of weaker teams. So Anna probably is going to play in the first round since usually their stronger teams rest their top board in the first round. And that for the Netherlands is Elina Rubers, I guess. So, yeah, Anna is probably going to face some low-rated girl in the first round, around like 1600 or something. But then in later rounds, she might be against opponents her level or even stronger. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Hungary is a pretty easy place to get to. It's like the center of Europe, many flights there. And yeah, I mean, it's also nice for the community because we are planning a meetup there. Since it's, you know, the Olympiad is not always in Europe, basically. So since it is this year, we're like, why not come and join? And by the way, if you are planning to visit the Chess Olympiad, they announced that it's actually going to be free to watch. So you can go to the playing hall and just, I guess, watch the games. Not sure how exactly. I don't think you're going to be allowed to go, you know, next to the players, but you're going to be able to watch the games for free. Yeah, usually, sometimes they did used to make this paid option, but I guess they were nice this year and decided to, you know, have it open for everyone. So yeah, if you guys plan to visit or are in the vicinity of Hungary, you can you can drop by even if you're for one day in Budapest or something. And by the way, the opponent found a good move, Queen B6. This guy is he's a strong player. He's not to be, and knowing Anna, she is not considering any result other than a win against a low-rated player. So this will be a hard task for Anna, actually. So this guy is definitely playing, I would say, slightly above his current rating in this tournament. His performance is about 2200, which is kind of similar to Anna's performance. I mean, yeah, that makes sense since they're paired against each other. So yeah, this guy is not really to be under. Queen to b6 is a nice move. Also, as I said, it's kind of attacking the knight on d4. It's kind of keeping an eye on this pawn on b2 so that the bishop can develop. And white is actually having a hard time here trying to figure out what to do. The move played in the master game, we're still following the game between Herrera, Irisberto, and Cifuentes Parada Roberto, I guess Spanish guys, 2400s, from 2007. And in that game, that was a draw, by the way. White played queen to e3, which that makes a lot of sense, defending the knight and preparing to castle on the next move. Of course, that comes with the price of putting the queen on the e-file, and then rook e8 is going to disrupt maybe this queen. Eventually, black will want to play the move d5 at some point to equalize the game completely. So yeah, that is definitely a plan. On the other hand, like, is the stream count live? I think so. I don't think so. I mean, it is Anna's turn in the. I think it's following the delayed board, since it is. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't think that Anna takes 10 minutes to think here. And the position looks the same. Like, her queen is on f3, so it hasn't moved out. And her knight is on d4. So yeah, that is definitely the same position. So it should be the delayed stream still. So what other options would white have except queen e3? You can always move the knight away and play something like knight to e2, I suppose, would be a good move. Knight d to e2, that is. Knight to b3 could be interesting, trying to challenge the knight on c5. Knight to f5. Maybe black could take this knight and try and use the extra tempi for his advantage, something like rook e8 quickly and trying to get in d5. So knight f5 probably not the most accurate. Yeah, so the thing is that if Anna plays like a nothing move, like short castle, then black has this tactic with knight c5 takes on e4, which also releases the attack of the queen on the knight on d4. So Anna has to protect against this threat before she continues on with her plan. Which is annoying, which is why this queen b6 move is a good move by the opponent. By the way, the clocks, I'm not sure if they're accurate on leads, but it looks like Anna has an hour and 10 minutes, the opponent has an hour and 2 minutes. So the opponent has taken quite some time, but he has come up with good moves. So this guy is using his time well, I would say. So he's keeping up for now. Skeptical about this move. It looks active, of course, and it is eventually where you want your knight to be. The problem here is that white is not really that well developed. And I mean, black is probably going to take this knight, right? Because this knight is threatening a lot of things. The bishop on e7, the pawn on d6. You really don't want to let this knight leave on f5. So the problem is that after bishop takes f5, I suppose what black has developed 4 and has castled, so you can say it's 5, and it's also black to move. So black is way ahead in development, and we haven't really gotten anything to show for it except the bishop pair. But okay, the bishop pair is a long-term thing, and black might have some chances, like rook a to e8 is coming into mind, bringing the last piece into the game, and this pawn on e4 is starting to feel a little bit weak. So maybe Anna has seen some tactic to prevent that. Took an Anna takes with a pawn. Okay, so that is, I guess, her solution to. Hello, this Jean, by the way. Welcome. So this e takes f5. Yeah, I mean, from a positional standpoint, I don't really like this move because even though you avoided being down a pawn, you're essentially down a pawn. Like, imagine if there is an eventual endgame, then black can create a passer on the queen side, and you have double pawn, so you can't really create anything on the king side. So if everything was to be traded, then black would have very good winning chances here. On the other hand, this extra pawn on the king side can be used for attacking at some point. So at some point, we can, start playing g4, g5, and try and attack the black king. However, this e takes f5 move also allows black to play the move d5, which shuts down our bishop. And yeah, that is a piece that would have been very useful in a potential white attack. And it's also a piece that I don't really see what it's going to do after d5. So while Anna does have the bishop pair, her a2 bishop is looking kind of sad on a2. So, well, I have to say that it's more interesting than taking with the queen. Like, at least you're kind of making some imbalance into the position. Try to kind of disrupt the natural flow of the game. Because, if both players now just develop their pieces and trade some stuff, then black has the advantage. So Anna will have to try and do some creative things here, which might be risky. You might see this evil bar dropping quite a bit in the near future, but Anna is just hoping that the opponents will be forced into some kind of defensive position. Although I have to say that if I were black in this game, I would be really happy with my position. Like, black is ahead in development, and black has this d5 move, so he will be also having more central control, and also have the more healthy pawn structure. All of that for the price of the bishop pair, which isn't really doing much right now because of this passive bishop on a2. So yeah, this position should be slightly better for black. But of course, the game is still in its early stage, so it's not really much to worry about, I would say, especially since Anna is also quite a bit of has quite a bit of time advantage to compensate. So the opponent is already down to 57 minutes. Anna has an hour and 10 minutes. And I think she, despite the position is not so good for her, she is feeling like, I'm putting the pressure on the opponent. Like, I'm the one, who is threatening all this stuff to push the kingside pawns and all of that. So, yeah, it's a double-edged game, which I think is what Anna wants. And I guess we hope for that this guy kind of crumbles. Although this guy has been really solid so far. So, yeah, I'm still hopeful, but I'm a little bit, kind of anxious about where this game is going to, what is going to transpire the next few moves. This guy, though, is a bit of a thinker. Like, if I was black, I would have played d5 almost immediately. Or, well, if you don't want to play d5, some move like rook e8. White's gonna castle short. So, yeah, White unfortunately cannot go long castle because the bishop is in the way, and the bishop can't move because of this queen b6 move. So this queen b6 move actually is really important for black. Because it stops the long castle's plan. Now White is forced to castle short, which would mean that if you're going to push the g-pawn in the future, then that would be additional weaknesses against your king. So, yeah. Although I think that Anna is still going to push the g-pawn regardless. She doesn't really care about king weakness. So even though, yeah, the evil bar might not like White, I think this game is pretty double-edged. And I like the fact that the opponent is taking a lot of time on moves that shouldn't really take that much time. Like here, you just develop your pieces and play d5, and then you think. So if this guy takes like 5 to 10 minutes on these moves, when the g4 push will come, because it will come, this guy will have to spend a lot of time, how to deal with eventual g5 and h4 and f6 and all these pawn pushes, and he might make a mistake. So yeah, that is good for us. That the opponent is, kind of still evaluating what I'm going to do. I'm not sure if he's calculating something. I don't think there's anything immediate here to be calculated. Black should just finish his development, really. And try to take some central control. The problem is that as White, you can't really avoid this d5 move eventually. Like, even if Black doesn't play it right now, he will play it eventually to shut down your bishop. And he does play d5, in fact, right now. So he finds... Anna has basically two options. Option 1 is to castle short. Option 2 is actually to try and play g4 immediately. But that That looks a bit too risky. Like maybe she wants to keep the rook on h1 and put the king on f1, maybe. But I think short castles is kind of better to still go for g4. Eventually, you will end up with a rook on g1 at some point. So this is the plan, basically. Though we want to push Gary the g pawn, or I'm not sure. And Anna has castled. So yeah, that makes sense. I think then she needs to try and put the pressure immediately on black before black gets any kind of defensive setup, solid formation that cannot really be attacked. So it's really a battle of pawns against pieces in a way. And Anna does like her pawn play, so it is in her style, even though the computer is not really approving. This is good. What am I going to ignore? I didn't realize. What am I ignoring? I don't know. Okay. Yeah, my skills of reading chat are... Oh, you heard a soundboard. Well, I can't hear the stream, so I can only hear my voice. Maybe someone played. Yeah, I'm not hearing the stream, because that would be hearing myself twice, right? So yeah, if there was a soundboard, good, I guess, for whoever did it. You know what? I know my plans. I know what will I be doing. You are the one who is going to be forced around to sit and think and defend and calculate all of my ideas and stuff. And I mean, it does look pretty scary. Like, even though black should probably know that he's objectively better here, as I said, like, better pawn structure, the bishop is blocked on a2, and in general, yeah, I mean, black should feel that he has a good position here. The idea of white pushing the g-pawn is still quite scary. Like, you're not quite sure how to deal with that, and the opponent's just taking the f6 knight and put it on e4. So let's knight to e4. Overreaction. Although it does look solid, so yeah. But I'm wondering what happens if we take the knight and then push c4. So I'm not so sure this knight is that stable there on e4. I actually like... I like the prospect of taking and playing c4. I think Anna has a good chance here to open up her bishop again, which is very important. Yeah, so perhaps black should have played the move rook to e8 and bishop to d6 first, and only then stuck the knight on e4. Like, the knight is in a strong square on e4, but the problem is, yeah, there are some issues there. Another issue that could arise is that white has also the move a5 in her arsenal, and the idea being that the queen will be lined up at some point with the white rook on a1. Although a5 does not really work immediately, I think. But it could be a potential idea in the future. So knight takes e4 though is a good move, I think. So I'm not a big fan of Black's move. The evil bar still saying that is equal. That's interesting. Is the evil bar broken? That is a good question. Because now I think white is taking over after knight e4. So knight e4, if black takes with a pawn, then this bishop on a2 is permanently opened up. And okay, we're not going to push the g-pawn, maybe, but I mean, with our bishop there, the bishop pair's power suddenly is a big advantage. So, you know, when your opponent has the bishop pair, you shouldn't really play into positions that that the bishops have, you know, free control over long diagonals, especially the bishop that is unopposed, which in this case is the light square bishop. So it's actually really important for Anna to open up this bishop. The evil on just comes is plus 0.3. Yeah, this should be a little bit better for white. Like, the bishop pair usually is worth about half a pawn. I guess black has the better pawn structure, so that should also be worth something. But the unopposed bishop pair is going to be the key factor, I think. So I think Anna should take the knight, and after knight takes, which I assume is what black will do, then she needs to play the move c4, which kind of attacks this pawn on d5. And this pawn on d5 right now is really very strong. Now, if you remove the c pawns from the position, then this pawn will become an isolated pawn, which will be weak. And then the bishop on a2 suddenly, instead of looking at a pawn wall, it's looking at a weak pawn, and it's attacking that weak pawn. And then you see the rook is coming to d1. You still have to develop that queenside rook. Maybe somehow play even bishop to b3 could be an idea, and then try to develop the other bishop. And just pressure the pawn on d5. And suddenly, you know, Anna was threatening these g4 ideas. Black kind of overreacted to that plan with playing knight to e4, and suddenly Anna can switch to pressuring on the center, if that is what happens. So yeah, this is a nice example of, you know, even one move can make you consider a complete change of plans. Oh wow, before 94 it was like -1. Okay. I guess, yeah, I mean, if black just plays really accurately and just develops all the pieces, then yeah, this g4, g5 plan, the engine should refute it, but it's really hard for a human. You know, I think this guy saw the g4 idea. I'm not sure if he has seen like Anna-Maja's games, but she is usually at her best when she pushes the pawns like that. Like the game against this IM that she won, she basically was pushing. You know, it was an equal position. She just started pushing the kingside pawns, and eventually she ended up with a pawn on h6, and the opponent could do nothing about it. So this guy was probably like, you know, this girl is going to push all her pawns here and checkmate me, so I have to do something about it. And so he played 94, which is a very logical move, but it has this drawback. And I think Anna is calculating this right now. So she wants to take and play c4, because that makes sense to open her bishop. I wouldn't be too surprised if she plays g4 regardless. I mean, that could also be considered. And, you know, keep that plan for the future. Yeah, g4 regardless would be also an idea, perhaps. But I would prefer the more, principled approach to hit in the center and make this d5 strong pawn into an isolated pawn. I think that is good for us. So, see you, GP. Have a good one. Okay, so Anna has taken the knight, so she's probably listening into the commentary. Yeah, knight e4. That is a good move. And now the opponent will take, probably with a horse. I mean that. Well, if you put one knight on e4, you probably also like the second knight on e4. But I think Anna has already. Okay, he took with a pawn. Wow, I think Anna was already getting ready for the move c4 in case he took with a knight, like a 1-2 punch. She probably was ready to immediately move c4. So the guy took with a pawn. Bishop is going to get opened up anyway. So instead of me getting an isolated pawn on d5, I'm going to get a pawn on e4. Now, the pawn on e4, unfortunately for black, is practically an isolated pawn anyway, because the black f pawn can't really approach and try to defend. And yeah, so he still has a weak pawn, and the bishop is still opened up. So it's technically the same thing. And you might argue it's even better for white, because instead of staring at the pawn on d5, this bishop on a2 is now directly staring at the black king. So that creates some ideas. And suddenly the position is opening up. And when we have the pair of bishops, that is what we want. So hello, Vlad. Welcome to the stream. Yes, he took with the pawn. I guess he didn't want to play an IQP position after knight takes c4, c4. But I guess he didn't realize that his pawn on e4 is basically just as weak. And eventually it should be taken, I think. Like, imagine a rook on e1, then a bishop on e3, and yeah, the pawn should just be folding. So now, Anna is faced with the question of where to put the queen. And that might not seem like such an important decision, like you just pick a square. I guess g4, yeah. She picks g4. That is a good square. There are also some threats of bishop to h6, which might have to be taken care of. I like the move queen g4. Also keeping an eye on the pawn on e4. Maybe we want to take that with a queen at some point. Maybe we don't really need to put the rook on e1, so we can use the queen and potentially a bishop on e3 to win this pawn. So yeah, queen g4, perfectly. So yeah, I think white is now objectively in a better position. Bishop h6 is not really a threat now. Yeah, I mean, I think white will want to play the move rook to b1 at some point to free up the bishop. I'm not sure if the bishop will go to e3 or to h6, because again, as Mughilbaum is saying, bishop h6, bishop f6. Although there might be some tactics there. Bishop takes g7, bishop takes g7, f6, and suddenly, yeah, this is not so pleasant. So this bishop f6 might not be a great defense. Like, imagine if a rook is already on b1, then we would be threatening bishop h6. And yeah, suddenly Anna's pieces are, all of her pieces are very active right now. So, that bishop on a2, which looked quite sad 3 moves ago, is helping the attack. The bishop on c1 is looking at h6. The rooks are ready to get connected. The queen is also very active on g4. And it looks like Anna is taking over this middle game. So you see how a strong player can turn a position in her favor by just one small inaccuracy of the opponent and just putting kind of problems. Despite her position not being so sound objectively, she put kind of problems to her opponent and basically forced him to make decisions. And players usually make mistakes when they're forced with big decisions. So, yeah. If it was white to move, would it be winning for white? I don't think it would be winning. I mean, white probably would play rook b1 if it was her to move. So, yeah, but I don't think you can stop rook b1 in any case. So, yeah, I mean, black, it doesn't really matter what black plays, I think, here. I guess black will probably bring a rook to the center. I don't think he can do anything that constructive. By the way, now the move a5 is also an idea for white. Like if she needs to, for some tactical reasons, she can push this pawn to a5. The queen cannot take because of bishop takes f7 check. So that is also up in the air. Maybe black could play king to h8 here. If I was black, that is a move I would consider to get out of any threat of bishop h6. And yeah, get out of it. So king to h8 would definitely be a move I would consider. On the other hand, you have to waste the move to get your king out of the way. Your king will also be away from the action for a potential endgame. So it's not really that amazing of a move, but it might be necessary in the long term anyway. Vlad says, I think white should aim to play b4. Okay. Yeah, I guess b4 is a move. Like rook b1 and b4, I guess you mean. Or even a5 and then b4, maybe. Yeah, I guess you can try and put your queenside pawns in this way, like c3, b4, a5. Try to dislodge the knight and then take this pawn on e4 and be happy at the pawn. Although your extra pawn will be doubled in that case. So, I mean, well, it will always be doubled. We do have double pawns after all. But yeah, this b4 idea is also interesting, I guess. Yeah. Eventually, c3 and b4. You don't even need rook. b4 immediately is a very strong idea. The point is if you take a rook b1, bishop b2. Yeah, that could also be a move. So maybe black has to play a5 here. Try and stop. Yeah, this b4 is interesting. So let's say that black plays some random move. Like if you play queen takes b4, then rook b1, the queen has to move again, the bishop b2, and I'm threatening checkmate. You can't play f6. This looks like GG's. You can't even play g6 because then I take and take with the queen due to the pin. So queen takes b4 looks out of the question. Question is, can black take on a4 and try and plant a knight on c3 or something, or try and plant a bishop on f6? So maybe knight takes a4 is the reason why b4 might not be that good immediately. Although I guess on might take safer thing. Like Anna really wants to do that and give away her bishop pair. So maybe we have to prepare it in some way. But it's in general it's a good idea. I think to open up. Bishop b3, bishop takes c5, hoping it can only be recaptured by bishop to get f6 played. It's an interesting plan to play. I mean, it's an interesting plan to play bishop b3 also because you could be threatening bishop d4 in some lines. Although I don't like the part where you hope it can only be recaptured by bishop. Like you have to calculate. You don't have to hope. Hope chess is. It belongs in online blitz games. Here is calculation. But you can see a lot of tactical ideas for white. So that is always good. And as I said earlier, the opponent on not so hard decisions. And now he's actually faced with some troubles, like how to stop all these a5s, how to stop all this b4, how to stop even the slow plan of rook b1. And the opponent is already 18 minutes down on the clock. It's already below 45 minutes on move 15. That is usually a sign of trouble. Like, usually, the first time control has 40 moves. You want to be above 45 minutes by move 20. Especially given that at least the first, let's say, 6 or 7 moves are played immediately. So ideally, you even want to have more than 45 minutes in order to be able to take middle game decisions more cautiously and with the appropriate time. So usually you should aim to have 45 minutes or more by move 20. At least that's what I aim for. And the opponent is already below 43 minutes, and he still has 5 moves to make. And they are not easy moves. Like, yeah, black, surely he can play any move here. He can play rook d8, he can play rook e8, he can play bishop f6, he can play king h8, he can play, I don't know, but he has to make a decision. And yeah, that is the point. See you fighters. Hopefully Anna is 400 euros richer. Yeah. Okay, so black has played a5. So I guess black got scared of this move. It stops both a5 from white and b4. However, I mean, you don't really always need to push pawns. Well, we are Anna-Maja in this game, so obviously we do. But you can also, use your pieces to create threats. And a good move here for white could be the move rook to b1, just defending the b2 pawn. And just, keeping all the threats in the air. And after rook b1, there is a big threat of bishop h6. So black will have to deal with that. Then we get another tempo. We can bring our bishop out to e3, let's say. That will threaten the pawn on e4 indirectly. That will win another tempo. So it kind of gets black into a roller coaster where he has to make forced move to respond to all of white's threats. And that is not going to be good. Clearly, black saw the b4 idea too. Yeah, this b4 is actually quite scary, I suppose. I mean, a5 is a logical move. You stop a lot of white's queenside ideas. However, you don't stop the kingside ideas. So, and now, yeah, I also see now the evil bar is moving up quite a bit. It's like this was the first mistake of the game, but I'm sure the evil bar is broken or something. But white should be taking over this game here. I mean, this is exactly the position that every white player is hoping for against the Philidor defense. An open position where you do have the pair of bishops, you do have a weak pawn to pressure, you do have an attack. Like, black has nothing really. The only thing that black might have is potentially some trades, like taking the pawn on a4, giving away the pawn on e4, and trying and hoping that when he gets to the end game, White's doubled pawns will decide the game against Anna. But yeah, this is looking less and less likely. Anna is not going to trade pieces here, especially with all of her pieces being better than Black's. So yeah, this is looking really good. This position is looking really good. If I was a believer right now, I would be happy. I say that 97% of people have believed, though. So maybe with these odds, I wouldn't be happy still. But yeah, I mean, it's only channel points, I suppose. Okay, so I was thinking, and rook b1 makes a lot of sense here. I'm not sure what the evil is on this position. Class 1, I would say, for White. Which is, I guess, around what the evil is showing. So I'm making a safe guess here. But yeah, I would say the evil is around either again. So Anna has a good position here. Bishop pair, open position, attacking chances. And impressively, I say, without pushing any pawn. So we didn't even need to play g4. So we don't even have, made concessions on our team safety. So that is really good. That is really good for us. Not sure what he's thinking about. Probably how to get this bishop rolling, I suppose. Maybe she's calculating bishop h6. The problem with bishop takes h6 is that unfortunately queen takes b2 defends the mate thread on g7. So bishop takes h6. Bishop h6 is really stop the black queen from going to f6 and dislodging our bishop. So I guess we have to prepare this somehow. So that's why I said the move rook b1. Another move that could be used to prepare is c3, trying to block this diagonal. And also maybe keep some b4 ideas. So c3 is also interesting, I would say. Yeah, if Vlad was playing because he really wants this b4, he might like the move c3 here, trying to protect b4. There is also the move, or is it really? I was thinking maybe we could go h4, but maybe that's a little bit to consider a random Pompil game. But I don't think h4 is that good. So yeah, I think it's rook b1 or c3 here. Or maybe some other surprising move like bishop e3. I'm not sure it works though. Queen takes b2 should again be good. So we just need to defend b2, like rook b1 would be. I still like b4 here. Oof. b4. So I guess the reason is that black can't really take on b4. Huh. Okay, you can't really take on b4. Yeah, because bishop d2. So black has to take on a4, I suppose. Maybe that is what Anna is calculating, actually. This looks really messy. But again, with the bishop pair, this match should be good for us. Although we are sacrificing some stuff, right? I mean, unless you want to play like... This before is interesting. So bishop h6 is a little bit too direct, maybe. But I think just any move that covers b2 threatens bishop h6 on the next move. Because there is also this very tricky thing with bishop h6, bishop f6, bishop takes g7. Which basically wins the game for white. So, yeah, c3. c3 is a good move. And it's been played. So c3. Yeah. It kind of stops the bishop b2 ideas, the b4 and bishop b2 ideas that Vlad wanted to play. Although b4 is still a potential move, I would say. And it threatens bishop h6. And it also threatens bishop e3. Because even if the queen takes b2, then we will have bishop d4. So that is a nice move. And now black has to make a very, very tough decision how to cover all these threats. Because I don't really see any way. Like, possibly king h8. Usually when you get into this much trouble, the first kind of instinct is to move your king away from all the pins. The pin on the diagonal, the pin on the g-file. So king h8 probably, I think, is what black will play here. I don't really see another defense, but the position is getting better and better. Out. Rook f e8? Oof. What? Oh, and you want on bishop h? No, but you cannot play g6. You cannot play g6 or bishop f8. You cannot defend with a bishop. You cannot defend with a bishop because of bishop g7. You cannot play g6 because of the pins. So rook f e8, I think, might lose the game immediately. So rook f. So black really has to be really, really careful here. And I think king h8 is kind of the move that's... I mean, if I was playing as white, that's what I would expect here from my opponent. Maybe knight d7 works. I'm not sure. I mean, knight d7 at the very least we can take on e4 and the other pawn. And continue the attack. Like the bishop pair is a long-term advantage. So it doesn't. Yeah, knight d7 just wins a pawn. It's illegal for black. I'm not sure what you want. Maybe YouTube chat has some ideas. YouTube chat is stuck for me. In the one time I try to open YouTube chat, they're not speaking at all. So I don't know. Yeah, illegal. Someone should join the... Actually, can I do it?
Illegal!
Maybe I can. Yeah, that would be the reaction on f6. So yeah, black really has a very hard decision. Black is now down to below 14 minutes, and he still has 24 moves to make. So that is about little less than 2 minutes per move, I guess. So yeah, this is looking very good. I think that if black survives the time control, he'll survive with a really bad position. Like this has all the all the, you know, characteristics of a quick and swift Anna-Maja win. I don't want to jinx though. And this guy again is pretty solid. Like so far, he only lost to 2 GMs, and he drew and won against everyone else. So he is a solid player. But you see, these pawn pushes, they scare the opponents. Like even if they're not objectively good, the opponent basically collapsed because he got scared of G4. So yeah. So to prevent this G4, he basically gave up all his advantages in the position. And he now faces a task of defending that might even be hopeless. All he wanted to, and even that is probably not going to be enough to stable the attack. Yeah, bishop e3 is a move I like there. There are ideas of bishop d4. There are ideas of f6. There are ideas of just taking and taking the pawn if black doesn't do. So yeah, you're winning e4, but you're dropping b2. So that might not be the correct way to go. But still, I think that that Anna will find what to do after king h8. I think she's probably calculating that right now, because that seems like the only move that makes sense for black here. And I mean, at the very least, even if you don't win any pawns, you've connected your rooks. The rooks are soon going to join the fight, and yeah, I mean, just continue to put pressure on the black position. What did I suggest? I mean, I didn't really suggest anything. I said that, yeah, after king h8, bishop e3 is a good move. Probably black has to play pawn to f6 at some point. And then at the very least, yeah, we've got a free bishop pair. Our rooks are connected. And the e4 pawn will drop in the long term. We might lose b2. But still, the activity of our pieces should be enough to compensate for that. And that is if the opponent plays king h8. I'm not sure what else he is considering. a4? Well, a4 was played on move 7 or so. I guess you mean a5, yeah. Thank you for the soup waffle. That actually made me hungry, so I might have to leave soon. Especially faced with a rare opening. Why are you dissing the Philidor? Philidor is not a rare opening. It's a very good opening. Well, it's a very solid opening. But you have to be prepared to face pawn advances. And don't make concessions just to avoid. Like, again, this guy had a better position and he just collapsed because he was scared to face g4, g5. Which, okay, I'm not blaming him. Like, I would be scared as well. But sometimes you just have to go for it. So, yeah. And the good thing about Anna-Maja is that she can attack with pieces as well. She, you know, obviously she prefers attacking with the little guy. But she can also attack with pieces. Actually likes that thing, but not an actual good opening back to French. I mean, I have a positive score with the Philidor, so I would say it's not that terrible. Yeah, they ran out of names. I mean, some people call it the lion defense. So Bugs should really be a fan of this, actually. Like, his name is basically suggesting he should play this. So it's sometimes called the lion system, or the lion defense, or the black lion. That is the name of a Simon Williams course. The Bugs Lion system. Maybe we should troll Bugs and name it the Bugs Lion system so that he accepts the fact that it's a crazy top. Yeah, I'm not too familiar what it's named. I mean, I always called it the Philidor, this E5 system. Yeah, but it's a really solid opening. Yeah, there are courses by Simon Williams and Pepe Cuenca. That are very good. I actually, when I played it, I had the Pepe Cuenca course, and he explains a lot of the ideas really well, especially in the end game lines. After d takes c5, d takes 5, queen d8, which is a lot what a lot of club players will go into. And Black has a lot of nice ideas in this. Unfortunately, I have too many games in the database to surprise people with this. But if you look, like there are a lot of nice games there by Black. Yeah, and also Anne-Marie Much has made a course in German in the filter. So if you speak German, I guess this course is also recommended. Because she played this opening all her life, actually. And she's a really solid player. So a lot of players actually have gotten to high levels with just playing this opening. There is also this German guy, Ruben Gideon Kellner, who is almost 2,500, and he only plays this opening. Like, even against GMs, against 1,600, he plays all the time this opening. And well, it's worked for him because he's a really, really good endgame player. Like, his endgame ideas and understanding is GM level. So, does it have an honest theory course? I don't think so. No. But yeah, all of these courses, they don't really recommend taking on d4. This, I think, the open Philidor, and it's a bit harder to play in my opinion, because again, you open the position, and white is usually the one with the better pieces. The traditional way of playing this opening is to keep everything closed, then slowly expand on the queen side with moves like a6, b6, and eventually b5 after developing everything. But what her opponent did here was also a legit way of playing, and it actually got Anna into quite some trouble. But she avoided the trouble, and she's above and beyond that now. And her opponent is already in the 30-minute mark on move 6. Yeah, as Nordi says, even if he survives the position, very, very low time. So it all looks good for Anna to finish this tournament nicely. And I wonder what the standings for the women's prizes are. See you, Vlad. See you, Vlad. Have a good one. I guess that Lila is also on 5 points. And she's to go. And it looks like Black is up a pawn in that game. So, yeah, unless Lila can get something cooking with her kingside pawns, I think that actually she might be in trouble in this game. And I guess other, yeah, like they have traded a lot of stuff. Javiera is down to 22 minutes and with 20, and her opponent has an hour. So, yeah. I do like her position, though, I have to say, because white spawns are weak in that game. But okay, we can't influence the result of other. So, we just have to win this game, do our job. And I mean, even the second women's prize, I think, is like 200 euros. So, still, you leave with something out of the tournament. Lots of abuse saying in the early part playing the fielder, if you reach the end game, usually have a better construction. That is true, yeah. So usually what happens is people who play the fielder, they're just like, okay, I'll survive the early picks and then I'll win the end game. So you need to be good at two things to play that. You need to be good at defensive tactics. So how to survive an attack by your opponents. So that's why I said this guy got really scared for no reason. And you also have to, of course, be good at endgames. So, yeah. And some people who have the skill set, they can play this opening for all their life. Because it's, it's kind of a system. You kind of play the same move regardless of what your opponent does. And, yeah, you don't really have to worry too much about sidelines and all that stuff. Like, if you play some kind of Sicilian, you have to worry about the Mora Gambit, the Wing Gambit, the Alpine, the the Grand Prix, the Rossolimo, the Close Sicilian, and all of these sub-variations. Like in the Filator, you just do the same old things, regardless of what your opponent does. So it's a low theory opening. It's a low maintenance opening. It's a good opening to have like as a second reel or third opening. Maybe you can get a little bit too predictable if you play it all the time. But again, there are some people who do play it all the time, including IMs and GMs. So, yeah, I guess that is enough yapping about this opening. Let's see how this game will finish. It's now down to 26 minutes, according to my... So I'm not really sure. Like, at this point, I would have already played King H8 and try to calculate like what my opponent would do from there. But maybe he is not convinced and wants to find something else. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised to see kind of a self-destructing move. I don't know, something weird like, I don't know, H5 was suggested earlier. I mean, I don't think he would play H5. Even if H5 was the best move in the engine level, I would still not play it. Like, it looks very strange. Filator has similar pawn structure to the old Indian. Yeah, not really sure what exactly the difference is. I guess the difference is that the old Indian. Okay, I guess we're back. I guess you can hear me. Hello again. Hello again. I'm not sure what is causing these issues with the stream. Yeah, it looks like there are some connection problems or something. I wonder if the other streamers have them too, because I haven't really gotten too many Discord things from other channels. So, might only be Anna's connection. Someone is kicking the cable. Or something. I don't know. But yeah, welcome back. And we see a move. So, has been played. So the idea of queen to c7 is quite clear. The opponent wants to prevent bishop h6 by playing queen e5, coming to f6. So that is the point. Okay, it's actually a creative one. I guess the opponent was not satisfied with the other options. So, yeah, he was like, okay, we have to get creative. Queen c7, try to go queen e5, and go from there. Now, the problem with that is that queen c7 completely lifts the pressure of b2. So we can actually go bishop e3 for... and this threatens to win a pawn on e4. This threatens to play bishop d4. This threatens to play f6 at some point. So, yeah, so that basically liberates our bishop. So that might have some other drawbacks. Springer Archie is suggesting bishop f4. It's also e4. So that's also a clever idea. So yeah, I think it's either bishop move here, bishop e3 or bishop f4. Not bishop h6, but the other could be good. And by the way, black's time is 24 minutes and 36 seconds. So Anna is now already half an hour up on the clock. Bishop a4 h5. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we want... Okay, I mean, the endgame should be winning. To the queen of the e4 pawn. Okay, that might be a little bit annoying for white. Although white should still be much better here. Like, if anything, your h5 pawn will be weak in the future. But then I take on f4. What are you really threatening? That blunders a bishop. Yeah, I think, well, again, it's the opponent that has to calculate here. Like, okay, he prevented bishop h6, but we have like 3 other threats. So, queen g3, queen d8, rook fd1, knight d3, knight d3, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I guess you can try and hold on a little bit, yeah. Put this knight on d3. I mean, I could even sack, maybe, I don't know. But, yeah, that makes sense. So maybe bishop e3 is the more cautious approach. I'm not sure what black does for bishop. e3. So I'm pretty sure that black has to give up the pawn in some way or another. Yeah, I mean, king h8, okay. Just take on c5 and take on e4, at the very least, and win a pawn. Or play like rook e1 or something. I mean, black is just stuck. Opposite color bishops, sure, but I mean it's not the endgame. So the opposite color bishops are usually good for whoever is attacking. That is the saying. So we're up a pawn, we're continuing the attack. It shouldn't be. Like there is no reason. You can prepare it, you can put like rooks on the center, and eventually like this pawn is basically like dead meat. It will basically fall regardless. You can even prepare bishop b1 and somehow taking it with a bishop in case you want to avoid opposite colored bishops. Yeah, so basically black is forced so much behind that it can't really support this pawn on it. For yeah, so bishop e3 is a move. Bishop f4, h5, queen c6 is bad because of queen takes f4. Yeah. Yeah, Anna is probably calculating, judging what the best move is here. I mean, it's probably deciding between bishop f3 and f4. I think they're both good. Like, yeah. It's just a matter of picking the slightly better option. Bishop f4 is winning a pawn. Bishop f4 h5, queen g3, queen d8, queen g6. Yeah, that is a move that makes sense. I mean, black's pawns are so weak in this h5 line that they're gonna fall. So you don't even need to calculate that much, I think. So like, black has so many weak pawns that this position cannot be holding after h5. Like h5 looks like a desperation try to be. So, yep. It's good when you have like two options that both seem winning. So apparently this opening variation of the Philidor is called the improved Hanham. Hanham? I don't know how to pronounce that. I did some Googling and James Hanham was an American chess master who fought in the Civil War for the North. Ooh, okay. Wikipedia has a quote from New York Times in 1889 where he is described as he was one of the dudes at the tournament. Okay. Yeah, the thing about bishop h6 is you can't really defend it with a bishop because there's bishop takes g7 and f6. Although wait a minute. Can't we play knight e6 there? Not sure what happens after bishop f4, bishop d6, bishop h6, bishop e5, bishop takes g7, bishop takes g7, f6, knight, f takes e6. No, knight e6, bishop takes e6, f takes e6, queen takes e6, check, queen f7, takes, and in the end, well, I am up a lot of pawns, right? I'm up like 2 pawns. Okay. We're back with a move, I suppose. The move is bishop e3. So Anna has chosen to kind of go for the more conservative option. Maybe she was a little bit worried about this before h5. I'm not sure. Or some other line. Bishop e3 looks very normal. You know, just developing a piece. Threatening bishop d4, tipping some ideas of eventually taking the pawn on e4, and still making it very hard for black. Black played knight to pawn on e4, black played knight f6. So, yeah, so the moves that happen are bishop e3, knight d7, queen takes e4, knight f6. And so basically we're up a pawn. We kept the bishop pair, we kept all of our advantages. And yeah, this should be completely winning now for white. Like, white is up a pawn and attacking. And yeah, like, bishop pair still there. Open position still there. Potential kingside attack still there, I would say. Although I would not really get too excited of. I mean, the thing is, so black had a knight on f6, right? Then he got scared of g4, g5, so he moved the knight to e4. And then a lot of things happened, and black had to give up a pawn to get the knight back to f6. So now he's still, like, well, the g4, g5 still could happen, and he's down a pawn. So I don't think his plan worked. The queen has moved back to f3. And now g4 is always a move here. You can centralize the rook first. You can even centralize both rooks first. You can even play king h1 first if you like. But black can't really stop g4. So yeah, so black will have to face g4 and will be a pawn down. So this should be good. For us, Anna is professionally taking control of the game, you know, taking the pawn, making sure that, you know, even if the attack doesn't work out, we are up opponent. The opponent now is trying to make some lost. So let's try and do something. And he goes d5. It looks like a desperation move, to be honest. But I guess there might be some points. Now, I think we want to take this. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't. Potentially opening up another kind of front against the pawn on a5, opening up the diagonal of the queen, playing g4. I mean, at some point we might even take on f7, and then there wouldn't be rook takes f7 because of queen a8. So, yeah. Thank you, Anonymous Gifter, for gifting us up to Togman. I mean, if we're going to move the rook to d1, we might as well take the pawn first, right? There's not really much reason to give the pawn to black. So I guess A, B, C, B, and then, yeah, C just takes and B. Black is going to. I mean, this is pretty much a dream position for white. Like, she's up the pawn, she's attacking, she's pushing the pawns finally. I think we will get to see g5 from her in this game eventually. And it might be even a winning move. So, yeah. And of course, the capture of the e4 pawn ensures that the board remains wide open, so the bishops will always have a good operating ground. No knights landing on d3 or some annoying blow. So the center is now completely open. So the bishops can, snipe stuff from the long diagonals. The clock times are 38 minutes for Anna-Maja, 24 for the opponent. So she's used up quite a little bit of her time advantage, trying to figure out. But I think that hardly matters. Like, Anna's plan is very straightforward here, and it's always easier to attack than it is to defend. So, shouldn't really be a worry that we lost some of our time advantage. Like, there's now only 14 minutes up on the clock. But, yeah, that shouldn't be. What if bishop h6 now? Then we lose a piece, yeah. Then black just takes. g4 should be the move here, I think. Like, that is the move Anna-Maja would play in an instant if it was Bleach. But maybe now, because she knows she's winning, she's a little bit more conservative. It's like, okay, can I do this without pushing g4? Can I maybe centralize my rooks, try to do something else? But g4 is still good. Like, the good thing about these doubled f pawns is that our f2 pawn will always stay there protecting the king. So we can basically have a full attacking force with 3 pawns on the king side, plus a defensive pawn on f2. So that is good for us. So g4 is not really risking too much in terms of king safety. Like the king can always hide on h1. There is no light square bishop for black to attack the king there, and the other pieces are anyway like too far away from the white king. So g4 here should be good. Black needs to consolidate rook d8, knight e8, bishop f6. Yeah, that might be a good plan. Yeah, although obviously you're still well worse, but yeah, that might be a good solidifying plan. That's probably why we need to go g4 immediately. Try to clarify the situation there quite quickly before black finds this setup. It looks like Anna's ready to play something. Maybe not so. Well, let's see. Hello again, GM Shoulder. Hope your prep went well. Yeah, we're having a really good position here. Basically winning, I would say. And yeah, just chilling, I guess. Waiting for Anna to push the G-pawn. And she goes for it. Let's go. Yep. Well, I mean, if there was ever I mean, the next move is G5. And then that is. And with black having 24 minutes, yeah, I think the odds of black making the time control are shrinking, rather. Poland also has like a billion volts of water in on his table. Not sure why he needs that much water. Yes, it's very hot in Portugal. Is this Vlad with the $1 mate? Wait, am I not? You can't hear me properly, or what? Maybe I should sit down because I was standing up. Maybe that's why. Okay, G4 H6 has been played. So our opponent. You can just play H4, right? And then next to G5. And that will only lead to opening the H file as well. Maybe you can insert there a King G2 move to bring the rooks into the game as well. Because black cannot take with the rook because queen takes a8. And black cannot take with the king because after queen d5 you have to put your king on e8 anyway. I still take the rook. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. It's a nice idea. So I guess after h4 black puts the knight of five. Bishop takes f7 there. Yeah, this should just be over. Like, this should be over in a few moves. It's a good question of pawns on the original squares in case you're facing a pawn stone, because that is where they are stronger. But maybe he just didn't want to face g5. He maybe thinks that he can prevent it. I wouldn't be surprised if he thinks that after h4, knight h7, I prevented g5, but then the bishop takes on f7. So, yeah. I mean, Anna probably knows that she's completely winning here. She's up a pawn, and she has a raging attack that will open at least one kingside file because the opponent gave a hook on h6. So that should be completely winning. Like, not sure what the evil bar says, but this should be like +3 at least. The game should be over in the next 10 moves, I would say. Maybe even less. I like that Anna is being like extra cautious with the pawn pushing. Like she's not immediately playing h4. She's calculating, what can my opponent do? Why did he play h6? Does he want something? She's not taking any risk, I would say. But to be honest, there's not really much that black can do. Like, all of his pieces are passive. So, yeah. Yeah, h4 and then g5. That's what most likely. No. Okay, so he goes for queen to g2. Okay. Interesting. That is... It is kind of an attacking motive. So she wants queen g2, king h1, rook g1, and try and open the g file. Could also work. I mean, pretty much everything should work. I'm gonna take a little bit of a break. And I'll see you guys in like 10-15 minutes, maybe. So, yeah. Hopefully we'll have some moves by then. But yeah. See you guys in a bit.